AM 590, KXSP Omaha's ESPN Radio. It's time for the Metro's only racing talk show. The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Now, here's Dan Taylor, Buddy Ray, and Andrew Kosiski.
Good morning, race fans, and welcome to the Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. Man, we've got a hell of a show lined up for you today, and it's not very often that I drop the I can't spell.
H-E double hockey sticks.
It's a good show lined up for you. Turn 4, Hudson Hall of the Motorsports Group. We'll talk to him about their season and kind of get a preview of Kansas Speedway. We'll talk to Pat Warren in Turn 3 of Kansas Speedway about the upcoming race.
And that interview will be enlightening.
It is, and you'll have to listen and find out what the heck Bud's talking about. And for once, you make sense. I'm proud of you. That's a good one. That was a very good one.
Only took 3 years.
Turn 2, we're going to talk to the gas man, Jack Dover, now nicknamed
G-Money.
Man, I tell you what, he's having one heck of a week. Got himself his 4th ASCS Midwest Championship. Won himself $20,000 because of the extra money that the sponsors put up at I-80 Speedway for the Midwest Fall Brawl.
Made it a month and a half with his new girlfriend.
I mean, awesome luck that guy is having. But in Turn 1, that's pretty much going to be a quick one because we talked for a while with Jack Dover. That's got to be one of our top interviews. And, you know, we've talked to some pretty big-name drivers with the legends of the dirt and just getting lucky. But Jack's interview was absolutely fantastic.
You ever notice with Jack, as young as he is, being in his early to mid-20s, and I mentioned this, and I'm going to mention this to him, he's kind of like a giant amongst giants out there. He's just so well-spoken and mature for his age. He
understands that with racing, it's not just talent. There's also marketing that comes with it. And he's trying very hard. We talked about it in the interview you'll hear next turn about how he's trying very hard to find that one big sponsor or those 2 mid-sponsors that are going to help him go to World of Outlaws and do a full-time season with those guys. And he understands that it takes marketability. You can't just rely solely on your talent. Turn 1 brought to you by Kansas Speedway. Racing is just around the corner, guys. We're going to wrap up this afternoon at Dover, and then we're going to head to Kansas Speedway for the Hollywood Casino 400, for the Kansas Lottery 300, and the Kansas Lottery 989 FM ARCA Series race. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm excited about the weekend at Kansas Speedway. We'll be down there live doing interviews with as many people as possible, so make sure you get your butts down to Kansas Speedway. It's really your opportunity to see the big-time boys racing on the asphalt here locally in our backyard. KansasSpeedway.com for tickets, or you can call 1-866-460-RACE, 1-866-460-7223. How's about that's enough blabbing between you and I? We get to doing some interviews.
Sounds good.
We'll be back in Turn 2 with Jack Dover, the gas man, right here on the Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
For 50 years, Eagle Raceway has been pushing the limits of dirt track racing. Saturday nights, come see the Midwest Best Battle at the fastest third-mile track. Gates open at 5:30 for IMCA Modifieds, Sport Compacts, Hobby Stocks, Sport Mods, and Race Saver Sprint Cars. Eagle kicks their season off on April 19th with the Icebreaker Challenge, featuring the debut of the Race Saver Sprint Cars. Located just 10 minutes east of Lincoln on Highway 34 and online at eagleraceway.com.
In 1999, Wade Cross decided he was tired of overpaying for shocks, so he created FX Shocks. Now FX suspension customers reach across the United States with countless wins and championships, including national champion in 3 major IMCA classes, plus Super Nationals champions in all 4 of the Saturday night's main events. Get your FX Shocks today. One-on-one consultation is waiting for you at 308-383-9609, 308-383.
This is Andrew from Kaziski Auto Parts. Kaziski Auto Parts is an insurance-quality used parts supplier that can match your foreign or domestic car or truck needs. If you have a damaged or broke-down car or truck, we guarantee a clean and quality part in next-day fashion. Kaziski Auto Parts, your neighborhood premium recycled parts supplier. Call any Kaziski Auto Parts salesman today by dialing 402-731-4592 or visit us at 5040 I Street in Omaha. Kaziski Auto Parts, our quality used parts will match your car or truck's needs.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
We're working the high line into turn 2 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting. Online at joeskarting.com.
Welcome back to the front stretch, heading into turn 2, brought to you by Shamrock Limousine. Online at shamrocklimosite.com for everything you need, from weddings to bachelor parties, nights out on the town, or if you just simply want to look like a bigwig pulling up to that big important meeting. Give Jim and everybody a call today at Shamrock Limousine, 712-352-0539, or find them online, shamrocklimosite.com. Joined in the studio by a guy who... Well, obviously, you're going to be driving around in limousines more often now. You're kind of a big time.
Yeah.
The gas man, Jack Dover, joining us as he always does for a postseason wrap-up. It's not really postseason yet, but things are kind of winding down a little bit. And obviously, the big news last weekend, you took home the big payday from I-80 Speedway for the Midwest Fall Brawl.
Yeah, Friday night we won, and then that was the only way we were capable of getting $20,000 is we had to win both nights, and we ended up pulling the win off Saturday night.
You know, I want to ask you a lot of questions about Friday night. I got to sit there and watch the race, and I hate doing this just because you're in the studio, but I got to give you a ton of credit because you did restarts like a boss.
Yeah, on those restarts, it's pretty important that you don't start in the same spot every time, and I was just trying to mess with their heads a little bit and start in different spots, and it ended up playing out like I wanted it to.
I mean, like a boss, just doesn't even explain. I was just amazed every time that with the group I was sitting there, I said, okay, look, you could tell when you were coming along the backstretch. I cannot remember who it was in third place. Might have been Brian Brown, but he was in third place, and he was hanging back, trying to time it so that you would go as he caught the field.
Right.
And you schooled him every time. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about him, but I don't know if you had somebody in your ear, if you had a mirror planned just perfectly, but man, you timed those restarts flawlessly.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is that forward power. That thing takes off like no other. And the other thing is when those guys are behind you, you can actually hear them when they try to gas it up. And when they start gassing up, and then you can hear them let out of the gas, and that's when you take off. So it's all a game out there.
Well, you played it masterfully, and you took the lead very quickly throughout that race and then never looked back. I mean, at one point in time, you had about a straightaways lead. Running that top line as you love to do.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't really have much trouble with lap traffic, although there was quite a few cautions on Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night there was quite a few cautions, but my car was just so good, and my guys were telling me I was perfect on the track, and I knew we were going to either win or come close to winning, and I just can't thank my guys enough for getting the car just right and make sure everything's tight, and I hit the setup perfect that night and Saturday night, so everything went perfect this weekend.
I missed the race on Saturday night. I was at a friend's wedding, which...
What?
I know. I explained to him.
Okay, you lost your man.
Day.
Let me ask Jack a question here.
It was my best friend's wedding. I had to go to it. But talk to us about Saturday night. How did that race go for you?
Saturday night, we ended up starting front row outside in the heat race, and we kind of battled out there for a couple laps. I forget who I was battling out with. We were doing slide jobs, and I ended up getting out front and just never looked back, and that put us in the top 8 redraw. I think we were 4th to draw, and how they do is they had 8 necklaces, and the first driver had to take a necklace, and there was other drivers there. They were capable of taking that necklace from that driver. So it came to me, and I took Brian Brown's necklace, and we all opened them. I ended up having the number 1. So it was really Brian Brown.
Oh, man. What did Brian Brown say?
He wasn't too happy because he ended up with number 8, the worst one.
Oh, so you went from 8th to 1st in the draw.
Yeah, so, I mean, this whole weekend was it was flawless. It was all perfect.
Would you say more luck involved than skill?
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of luck in this last weekend.
I mean, and that's no talking bad about you. You're obviously a very skilled driver, but it takes a lot of luck. I mean, if you draw 8th, I mean, it doesn't matter how good Brian Brown is, it is tough to make it through a field in a sprint car race.
Very tough. I mean, our car was good. I mean, I think we're capable of winning if we had to start 16th or 8th or wherever, but it definitely helps when you can start out front on a big track like that.
After winning Friday night, you knew what was going on. You one Friday night, you go to the draw. You're hoping as a driver, you're hoping you get the pole, and well, you got lucky and you got the pole.
Yeah.
When you saw that number one on that necklace, was there extra pressure? Like, oh my God, here's the biggest payday. Does that make you more nervous, or did you not really let it affect you at all?
It really didn't affect me at all until it came time to getting in the car, and then I really started thinking about it. There's a lot of money on the line, and I really hate starting first place because if you go back, it's always the driver's fault. Or whenever I start first and end up worse than first, I always blame myself because, it's pretty easy to be out front.
As a driver, where actually is your favorite place to start a race?
I like fourth.
You like fourth?
Really?
Yeah.
Second place outside.
Yeah.
Mine too.
And you can
Really?
Yeah, you can pass a couple cars. You feel good about it, and it's pretty easy to get up front quick.
That's interesting. I guess I didn't expect that. I kind of figured you'd want to be on the pole, in control.
Nope. Because when you start out front like that and you're leading, you don't know what the guys behind you are doing, if they're catching you or if they found rubber on the track before you, and if they're catching you and then they pass you and it's too late. So you always like to be behind somebody.
Kind of get a feel for the track for a couple laps and then make your move.
Yep.
Okay, that makes a lot of
If
sense.
I go sprint car racing, I want Dover starting 22nd while I'm fourth.
If I ever go sprint car racing, I want Dover in the pits.
Yeah.
I don't even want to make it in the feature.
We're talking to the now 4-time ASCS champ, and you've done it 3 times in a row. It was a big weekend for you last weekend as you not only took home the big payday from I-80 Speedway in the Midwest Fall Brawl, but you also claimed your 4th ASCS Midwest Championship.
Yeah, like last year when I did the interview here with you guys asked what I thought about championship, and it's just one of those deals I really don't think about all season. I don't even pay attention to it, and it didn't even go through my mind once Saturday night that I was going to win the championship. So haven't really thought about it, but it's an awesome feeling winning it 4 times, and hopefully do it again next year or be out on the national tour winning that.
Do you feel like that helps you to not? Obviously, the big thing with NASCAR, especially the last 10 races of the season, is every question is about the points, the point standings, the point day you just had. Do you think not worrying about that helps you to concentrate on other facets?
Oh yeah, I think it's huge. If you don't think about it and you just go out and try your hardest, you're going to have less problems. But if you start thinking about points and you're out there worrying about points while you're racing, you're just going to have more problems, I think.
You tend to overthink it, in my opinion.
Right.
Just go out there and do the best you can do.
Yeah, when you're thinking about points like that, you tend to go out there and drive the car harder, and actually might be worse.
You talked about at the beginning of the season you were hoping to run some 410 races. Were you able to do that?
The only 410 stuff I ran was Knoxville Nationals, and I drove for Josh and Mike Bogman out of Texas. I didn't run my own car, and we had a pretty good time. We ran decent, and the last night we ended up hurting the motors, so that kind of ended that real quick, and the year's not over, so we still might get out there a couple more times.
One question on a lot of fans' minds, and it's going to come this week, it's going to come next week, it's going to come in the middle of January in a blizzard. When are you going to go World of Outlaw?
I'm still waiting for that.
If you've ever had $1 for every time you've been asked that question, you could own an Outlaw team.
Yeah. No, I'm still waiting for that big sponsorship. As soon as we get that big sponsor, we're going out World of Outlaw racing or ARCA racing. We're going to do something more than where we're at right now.
Well, let's talk about those nuts and bolts a little bit. What you talk about that big sponsor. What would it take for a company to step up and sponsor you for you to be able to get into that seat?
To get where the Outlaws are, it'd take probably $100,000 to run the series comfortable. But you know how I know how it is, and Buddy knows how it is. Any little bit helps.
You mean to tell me Luke Cochran doesn't have that?
Oh,
I'm gonna get in trouble for that one.
Yeah. No, Luke helps out a lot, but I don't think we could put that in the budget.
He's only one man that can afford so much. And that was completely a joke. Luke does an amazing thing for racing, sponsoring you, sponsoring Jesse Sobbing, and sponsoring a lot of races. And he helps to sponsor, I believe, the ASCS Midwest. He helped sponsor a couple of those races. So he's doing his part to keep dirt racing alive in the Midwest. And even though we joke about that, we do greatly appreciate what Luke does.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it a lot. He's helped me the last 3 years, and if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be right now. I probably wouldn't be sitting here in this studio.
Well, anything you've got in the works, any deals with teams? We kind of joked about it with the World of Outlaws. Anything on the horizon that if you do get that sponsor, you've got the ride ready to go?
I'd probably do my own deal. Because it shows right now my program's working, so we just need the money to go out there and run with those guys and travel the country and all that stuff. But if I don't get that big sponsor, I'm hopefully stick with Home Pride, certified transmission, Langfield overhead doors, Eagle chassis, Roush Shates, Chris Moss racing engines. Just everybody makes it possible for me to be where I am right now.
So you would stay in the ASCS Midwest, maybe go to Joe's every now and then, kick my butt.
Yeah.
Do what you're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been doing this year is showing up wherever and trying my hardest. That's the funnest. I mean, when you just show up and don't have really a schedule, I mean, it's not really good for the fans because they don't really know where you're going. I mean, it may change the day of the race, and I might go somewhere else. But
one thing I do want to hit on, being a driver, and I've won races in the past, and you've won a million races, it seems like. And now you got your biggest payday ever. Did you ever sit back and really contemplate philosophically what it's like to go to Ida Speedway? It's one of your favorite tracks. You almost tragically lost your life there. And then you come back full circle and you just won your biggest race ever there. Did you ever stop to think about that?
My mom actually mentioned that Saturday night. She's like, well, you beat I-80. It's gotten you a couple times, but you finally beat it, I think.
You didn't beat it. You kicked its ass.
Yeah.
That was quite a clinic you put on Saturday night. It's got to be frustrating for other drivers because they can't even come close to you.
Yeah, and actually I found out the other night I really don't pay attention to the schedule, like I said. Mm-hmm. I guess there's another race out there with the Nebraska 360 Series during the Cornhusker Classic.
Cornhusker Classic. You be there?
You got one more.
What day is that?
It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday
the 11th,
race.
12th, and 13th.
And do you know what day the sprint car race is?
I think it's either Friday or Saturday.
If you stall long enough, my internet connection will speed up and I can find out for you.
No, I was telling my mom and dad about it. I think we'll be able to run that one because I think the weekend after that we go down to Texas, and the week after that we go to Arkansas. And then the weekend after that, we go to Arizona, New Mexico, and all that stuff to end up the year.
What was the field of competitors like against you after you'd won that? Was there a lot of camaraderie, a lot of congratulations?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lasowski, Mark Birch, Brian Brown, they all said something on Facebook or came down and congratulated me. I mean, that's huge when a driver or team like that congratulates you. I mean, just shows how good the guys are that we race with.
It's funny you mentioned Danny the Dude Lasowski. I grew up watching this guy race at Eagle. I mean, he's not exactly a spring chicken. I mean, he's not AARP eligible yet, but he's not exactly a spring chicken. And here you are, in your early, mid-20s at best?
Yep.
And you're a giant running with the likes of, Lasowski, the Drouds, the Alleys, the Kinsers.
Brown.
You've ran, Brown, you've won and raced against all the big names. Does that put extra pressure on your shoulders when you see a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid come up and wanting to be a Jack Dover?
No, I think it's actually awesome because I want to say it was probably when I was 13 or 14, I was at I-80 watching the Outlaws, and I went up to Danny Lasowski, and I looked up to him back then and had him sign my autograph book, and now kids are looking up to me. I think it's just awesome.
You talked about how these 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, they're only a couple years behind Jack. I mean, you're 23?
23, yep.
Yeah, so he's still a spring chicken himself. Let's dive a little bit into the helmet. There's only so many times we can ask you about your schedule and your plans and how many times we're going to hound you about World of Outlaws, but what do you like to do outside of racing?
The last 2 days, I've been hauling grain for a guy that lives right down the road from us. He's farming, so I really like doing that. On the side, I haul campers for my parents. They got the State Farm account, so I'm in charge of moving all the campers. And when I'm not doing that, I like to go over to Joe's Karting and race over there with my friends. And,
nice sponsor plug.
Yeah, I tell you what,
talk to Rich, see if he's got the 150,000.
Yeah. I'm trying to race too. Yeah. I tell you what, the one nice thing about Jack Dover, if you ever want to have a fun time, you're the only, and we see hundreds of racers inside Joe's. The coolest thing about Dover at Joe's is that when you go in the corners, it doesn't look like he's trying so hard to set fast lap time. And Jack, you do that a lot over there, but you put the rear end of the carts way out near the wall where no one else goes, and the crowd just eats that up.
You love that right there next to the wall.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just like being right on the edge.
And you like doing crossovers with all of us.
Oh, yeah. That's the biggest thing. When I go to Joe's, I really don't go over there to win. I just like to have fun and do slide jobs and ride against the wall and all that stuff. It's just a lot of fun.
All right,
don't hit them, though.
Yeah.
I know I got a lot of questions about this. Obviously, with the big payday, is it taken man, or are you searching for a girlfriend?
I have a girlfriend right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys been together for a while?
month and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not really.
Long term,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
When are we making plans?
Is she making plans now to be?
Yeah. No,
I'm just kidding.
20,000 buys a nice wedding gown.
Oh, yeah. That's too soon. I probably won't get married. I'm keeping all the money to myself.
Attaboy.
You don't need that alimony.
No.
Take it from some other dirt racers. You want to put your money back into your car, not your alimony payments.
One makes you money, one costs you money. Keep the race car.
Yeah.
They both cost you money. Well, in his case, he finally made him some money.
Yeah.
Is she from the racing community?
No, she's never been around racing. I mean, she told me her parents went a couple times. She went with them a couple times, but she's never been around it, and she loves going every week now, and she's a huge supporter of it.
How did she act on Saturday night? Was she kind of, I mean, it's got to be a little frightening to see hop in the car, but, how was she dealing with the whole...
Well, she really didn't realize how big a deal it was, and right before I got in the car, I'm like, I'm kind of nervous right now. I told her that, and then she's like, why'd you say that? No, you got me nervous. So, I guess she was going nuts. My mom was going nuts. Just everybody was going crazy over the race, the last 5 laps. So, I wish I could have been a cameraman. I would have been videotaping them.
So after you win the 20,000, what was she like?
She really didn't know what to do. I mean, I don't think she realized how big it is yet, but she's been bragging to her parents about it, and they've been bragging to everybody about it. So
I don't know if there's anybody that's doing more bragging than Luke Cochran right now. Though.
No.
Well, I was surprised your girlfriend wasn't on the computer going, well, honey, there's a $20,000 win race here, and there's a $40,000 win race there.
Well, and it's like I talked to Luke about it earlier in the week. I said, you guys going to Vegas?
Nope.
It's going back into the program.
Yep. Actually, tomorrow I'm ordering a bunch of parts and stocking up for next year and getting ready.
What are you going to do now that Roush Yates engines are going away?
Roush Yates is officially done with the dirt program, late models, modified, sprint cars, and all that stuff. So this last week I had Chris Moss from North Carolina. He used to be the sprint car manager over at Roush Yates. I had him come up and go through my engines, both of them. He tore them completely down, did some machine work to them, changed a bunch of stuff to it, and changed fuel systems. And I mean, it made a night and day difference. So he's going to be building my engines. He's starting his own engine shop, so that's where I'm sending him for next year.
Okay.
Now, is he going to be out of North Carolina?
Yep.
And you're still Ford powered.
Oh, yeah.
Not
going to shift, huh?
I'm not getting rid of the Ford.
All right, that's the 4-time ASCS champion, Jack Dover. Congratulations, man. That was you put on a hell of a show Friday night. I really wish I could have been there on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for my sponsors. I just got to thank them. Home Pride, Certified Transmission, Link Photo Overhead Doors, Roush Yates. I mean, Chris Moss Racing Engines, Eagle Chassis, Speedway AFCO Shocks, Kaiser Wheels, BMRS Hoses, just everybody made it possible. My parents, Oil Medics, just a bunch of people. I mean, if it wasn't for all the people who put this deal together, I wouldn't be where I am now. So hopefully it continues.
Well, best of luck to you. We really do hope to see you up there in the world of Outlaws. We want to see you make it up there and show them boys how it's done.
Yeah, hopefully next time at this year I'll be racing with Outlaws.
Where is the next race you're going to be at? I know you just raced this weekend because this airs on Sunday.
This weekend we're either going down to the Jesse Hockett Memorial in Wheatland, Missouri, or we're going to go over to Wichita, Kansas and run with the NCRA. And then I think we got 2 weeks off or 1 week, and then we run that I-80 show, and then we're going down to Texas, and then week after that we go to Little Rock, and then the week after that we're going over to Arizona to finish up the year.
And to complete that question, sorry about that, bud. The Cornhusker Classic Saturday night is the SLMR Series, A-Mods, Nebraska 360s, B-Mods, Pro-Ams, Grand Nationals, Hobbies, and Hornets starting at 5:55.
That's a lot of classes.
It's going to be
a late night.
Yeah. Wonder how the track will be.
I tell you what, though,
Slick.
I give I-80 credit because they stay up on drivers to make sure things get done quickly.
Oh yeah, I mean their program's awesome, and the track is actually awesome too. For as many cars they had the other night, and racing the day before that, the track was pretty decent. So, I mean everything they're doing is correct. So.
Is there any possibility of making another run down south to Australia?
Yeah, I mean I had a kid from Nationals. He was over helping Chris Moss, my engine guy, and he came over just to hang out with him. And he owns 2 cars over there, and he wants me to come drive for him. And if that don't work out, I'll probably go over and drive for Brody again.
Yeah, we asked about that at the beginning of the season. You said he wasn't going to make the trip this year, but is he going to make it back in 2014?
I mean, it's kind of one of those deals we don't find out until like 2 months before he comes.
It's kind of an expensive plane ticket.
Yeah, it's like $1,200. So
yeah, would you say it was like a 24-hour flight? Or I mean, it's a long flight.
When I went over this last time, from when I left Omaha till the place I landed in Australia was 23 hours. So it was a long time. But the flight from LA to Australia was 13 hours. So
okay.
It's still a long time on an airplane.
Yeah, no kidding.
Makes you wonder how it flies that long.
Well, yeah, but if you're anything like the late model driver Kyle Burke, when he's in a tractor for 13 hours, and by the way, I'm not calling you Gas Man no more. It's G Money.
G Money.
G Money Dover.
You've got a new nickname.
But I got to think, if you're on the flight, you probably got a sticky pad there with a Sharpie, drawing new car setups. I wonder if this works.
No, I actually try to sleep the whole time because I don't like being up the whole time.
Looks like your next scheduled race is Valley Speedway in Grain Valley on October 4th, and then you'll be at the Devil's Bowl in Memphis, and then I-30. And so in between there, you're going to head out to I-80 right after Valley Speedway. Though you're going to try to make it out for the October 12th race for the Cornhusker Classic. Jack, we always do appreciate your time.
I appreciate you guys having me on again. It's awesome.
It's a great interview, and we're very happy that you were able to win that money. We're so happy to see that go to a local guy and someone that we can pull onto the show as much as possible.
I think it's awesome to stay in the state. So
yeah,
none of the out of town guys got
it. Yeah, no
so
kidding.
That's
all
awesome.
Right. Again, you can catch Jack locally. Next time you'll see him at I-80 Speedway for the Cornhusker Classic. JackDoverRacing.com. You can keep up with him on Facebook. You guys do a great job with keeping everybody up to date on the Facebook page, Jack Dover Racing, or you can friend him at Jack Dover. Anything last you want to say?
No, you said it all. Find me on Facebook at Jack Dover Racing, or my website's www.jackdoverracing.com. So that's where you can find the schedule and see how I've been doing.
All right, a lot of show left to come. We're going to talk with Pat Warren in Turn 3 and Hudson Hall in Turn 4. This is The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
For 50 years, Eagle Raceway has been pushing the limits of dirt track racing. Saturday nights, come see the Midwest Best Battle at the fastest third-mile track. Gates open at 5:30 for IMCA Modifieds, Sport Compacts, Hobby Stocks, Sport Mods, and Race Saver Sprint Cars. Eagle kicks their season off on April 19th with the Icebreaker Challenge, featuring the debut of the Race Saver Sprint Cars. Located just 10 minutes east of Lincoln on Highway 34 and online at eagleraceway.com.
Bring the hottest gift to the gift exchange by bringing a gift card to Quaker Steak and Lube. Now through December 25th, for every $25 gift card purchase to the Lube, score a $5 bonus card free. Give the gift of Lube Lube and the Best Wings USA with gift cards to the Lube. Now through December 25th, every $25 card purchase gets you a $5 bonus card free. Treat yourself and your friends this holiday season and grab your gift cards to Quaker Steak and Lube, 3220 Mid-America Drive in Council Bluffs. More info at thelube.com.
Find out what makes a day at Kansas Speedway such a big deal. Sure, it's a chance to see NASCAR Sprint Cup racing at its finest, but it's more than that. It's an all-day party, starting with one of the best tailgating experiences on the planet, especially since parking is free. And it just gets better. You can take your own cooler full of your favorite beverages right into the race. Tickets for the Hollywood Casino 400 on October 6th start at $64, and we have more seats available for $99 or less than ever before. For tickets, call 866-460-RACE or visit KansasSpeedway.com.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
Time to grab another tear-off and make your move. We're headed into Turn 3 on the Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting.
Heading into Turn 3, brought to you by I-80 Speedway. The Fall Brawl is behind us. Jack Dover, we just talked to him a little bit ago, $20,000 heavier in the pocket and a little bit of swagger to him. And now he's maybe going to try his hot hand at the Cornhusker Classic. I know, Bud, you talked about, are you going to be there for that race?
Yeah, I'm going to race a Classic.
Okay, so you'll be there. It's coming up October 11th and 12th, right?
11th, 12th, and 13th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show.
Coming up, i-80speedway.com is where you can get more information on that. We're heading from the dirt talk to the asphalt talk, and it's time for our semi-annual conversation with the president of Kansas Speedway, Pat Warren. Pat, thanks so much for taking your time.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
A lot has happened in the NASCAR world since we last talked, and a lot has happened in the last couple of days, or last couple of weeks, rather, with some rule changes. But let's talk about Kansas Speedway, and probably one of the big things on the agenda. You guys have the NASCAR boys headed your way, and the big weekend. What can fans expect outside of just the racing? You guys always do a great job of adding a little bit more to what's going on at Kansas Speedway. So what do you have lined up for them?
Well, the weekend kicks off on Friday night. We've got an ARCA race that runs after Cup qualifying, and the field is going to be led by a local radio personality, Johnny Dare, who's a morning show host, and the lead singer for Seven Dust, who's performing a post-race concert. And so they're going to be on Harleys leading the field for that race. It's going to be James Hilton's last race in a stock car. We're going to do some things to commemorate that. It's a 99-lap race, 150 miles. And then following that, we'll have a post-race concert by Seven Dust that anybody who comes in for a $10 or $15 ticket gets a free show. So it's really a great deal. We roll on that through Saturday into the Kansas Lottery 300, Saturday afternoon. And then on Sunday, we've got a pre-race concert by the band Everclear. And, of course, all of our season ticket holders get the track pass and get to go down on the infield and get up close to the drivers and the cars and everything associated with our Sunday pre-race.
This is just absolutely getting me so much more psyched than I already was. I didn't think it was possible, but you have completely satisfied my rock and roll bone with Seven Dust and Everclear.
Yeah, it's a pretty good lineup for a race weekend. It's not something you would normally get, and it just happened to work out that way. Seven Dust's lead singer happens to live in Overland Park, which is a suburb of Kansas City, and so it really just lined up well, and we're really excited about it. It's also his birthday on Thursday, so we're going to be really celebrating his birthday on Friday at the concert. Oh,
I'm expecting maybe a little bit of a craziness going on then.
I think so. My guess is that people will be consuming some adult beverages that night.
You think?
And I've got to see Seven Dust a couple of times, and man, they put on one heck of a show. It's going to be great. If anybody hasn't seen them yet, that money, the $10 or $15 for the ticket is well worth it, because you can't buy a Seven Dust ticket at a concert for that little.
No.
And you're going to get to see an ARCA race.
It'll be a full set. It'll be a full concert. So it'll probably start around 9:30, and they'll probably wrap up around 11 o'clock.
Now, you guys just had the Grand Am Series left town a couple of weeks ago, a little over a month ago, actually. And I saw one pretty cool thing you guys did, and I'm going to make a special request, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be able to happen in an amount of time. But you guys did a barbecue contest for the Grand Am Series. Can you maybe bring that back for this weekend?
Well, we were able to do that because we didn't have full DO lots. And so we put it in what would be the nationwide DO lot for our upcoming weekend. The problem we'd love to do a barbecue contest around a Cup weekend. We just don't have the space on the infield.
Dang.
Well, Dan, why don't you just go buy a bunch of ribbons, and we'll go from toter to toter, holler to holler, prevost to prevost, and we'll hand out ribbons that way.
I like that.
Believe me, there is plenty of barbecue cooked at Kansas Speedway during a race weekend.
Good point.
I don't buy food that weekend. I don't buy food that weekend. I go to the infield.
Yeah, we just walk around, and people will just volunteer food and beer to you. It's quite possibly the most amazing thing in the world.
It's a pretty good setting.
Pat, this will be you and I's third trip down to Kansas Speedway.
Yep.
And it's an absolute blast. And I think there's a lot of misconception that when you go to a NASCAR race, whether it be Kansas or Daytona or wherever, you're just buying tickets to go watch a race. But we got Seven Dust, we got Everclear, we've got all kinds of things going on.
Fan walk.
There's so much going on. Pat, I have a tough question here for you. You can only pick one thing. If somebody like me, even though I've been here 3 years now, if there's one thing that I cannot miss at Kansas, not counting the race, what would it be?
I would think, and you got to be a season ticket holder to get the track pass, but what I see people really enjoy is putting their name on the start-finish line before the race.
That is cool.
People get down on their hands and knees, they're signing it with a Sharpie or a pen or whatever, and, it really makes you part of the day's activity when your name is on the racing surface. And so I think of all the things that we do, the opportunity for people to do that may be the neatest.
Yeah, we have a dedicated listener and a good friend of mine, Jim Laughlin, that comes down every year, and his wife is battling cancer, and a couple of friends are season ticket holders, so they wrote her name on the start-finish line for the April race, and he sent pictures. I'm pretty sure we posted that on Facebook, too. So that's a really cool thing that you guys do.
Yeah, it's neat, and what I really like about that is, unlike not everybody can get into the garage. We can't give out hot passes to everybody. Anybody who's a season ticket holder can have that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And we really try hard to create experiences that, not tens or hundreds of people can have, but thousands of people can have, but that are still special and unique. And so trying to create something that 20,000 people can do and is unique for every one of them is really challenging. But that's what we believe our Sunday pre-race does. And, it's everything from people find the start-finish line. You've probably seen they draw targets on the crash wall. Kyle Busch hit here, or all kinds of things. But it's being able to do that, and NASCAR embraces that kind of activity and that sort of rogue nature of the sport. Other sports would never tolerate that, and the fact that we do, and don't just tolerate it, but embrace it, I think is great.
That's a very well put way of stating it. You're talking about the fan walk, and just one thing I remember I said to Bud the first year we were down there was that we were standing there right next to the driver's introductions, and I was amazed at the banking along the front stretch, because you can't tell how banked it is on TV, but it's a pretty good incline when you're trying to walk up to the top to sign your name on the wall and stuff.
Yeah, I think our front stretch is 7 degrees. The back stretch is 5. The corners are, obviously where it really gets steep. And if you get an opportunity to come out sometime before a race, walking up the corners, you really, really feel it. If you're doing it in dress shoes or boots, which I typically wear, you got to be really careful coming back down, because if you don't have a shoe with an aggressive tread coming down off of 20 degrees at the top of the bank, and it just gets a little less steep at 17 at the bottom, you can end up on your backside.
Pat, do you have any idea as to who's going to be in concert outside the main ticket area? It seems like the last 2 years there's always been a concert there, I believe, on Friday night.
That Friday night concert's the Everclear, or the Seven Dust.
That's where Seven Dust will be at.
Well,
it's not. We're changing the location. It's actually inside our grandstand gates, outside Turn 1. It's the same place we had the band Trapped, Trapt, Trapped for the Grand Am concert.
Man, you guys you picked the best rock and roll bands. I'm kidding. You're hitting all my favorite ones from about 6-7 years ago.
We've got a great partner, and because you're in Omaha, they don't compete with you, but 98.9, which is our local rock station, and the 18 to 34 demo is a great partner of ours, and helps us with the talent, helps us promote the event. And again, it's Johnny is their morning show host, who's going to help pace the field with Lejean from Seven Dust.
That NASCAR has been talking a lot. Actually, we've been seeing some news stories, not necessarily NASCAR, but there is some rumors in the mill that there's going to be some adjustments to the 2014 schedule for NASCAR. You may not be able to talk about it too much, but have you heard anything as far as, does Kansas Speedway fans need to be worried about maybe losing a race or it being shifted forward or backward in the schedule?
I don't. I can say with a high degree of confidence that there's no risk of us losing a race. And I would say that you may see a change in the Kansas Speedway schedule, and it will be a positive one. So it's not 100% yet. It's not done. But I think we're going to have a very, very exciting announcement in the not-too-distant future when we get the green light from NASCAR to release our schedule.
Well, would that be an enlightening one?
It might be enlightening, yes. That's a possibility.
Ooh, now I'm all sorts of excited again.
I'm all giggly for this one.
This is the best interview we've had in months. Last question I got for you. I looked at the extended forecast. Looks like it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, but I do have to ask the question just simply for what happened at Chicagoland. The Air Titan system is a new system that NASCAR came out with, and every track has the option to purchase it and use it for their race weekend. Has NASCAR purchased that system, and if so, will it be in place for the chase race coming up this weekend?
The Air Titan is owned by NASCAR, and the track pays NASCAR to bring it. It's actually already here.
Okay.
It came. There's a smaller version of the Air Titan that NASCAR has been doing some experimental work cleaning tracks with. That's what's on property right now.
Okay.
And then we'll have the full Air Titan system in the event we have that 4-letter word that begins with R that you don't say when you race.
Right.
But if we have that, we'll have the Air Titan here, and we'll have the ability to get the track dried as quickly as possible.
All right. Again, this is Pat Warren of Kansas Speedway. We've taken up quite a bit of your time, so let's wrap this baby up. Tickets available at?
Tickets are available at either kansasspeedway.com. It's all spelled out, so you've got 2 S's in the middle, or you can call 866-460-RACE, or just stop by our ticket office. We're open on weekends, and we're here to please.
Single day tickets available, weekend passes available, and also season tickets still available too. Pat, we always do appreciate your time and your support of the show, and we can't wait to see you down there this Friday.
I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
All right, have a good one. Thanks a lot, Pat.
Thank you.
Love talking to that guy.
You know what? I love talking to that guy or listening to him talk. I can't wait for this weekend.
Oh, my God. As if the racing wasn't enough.
You had to throw Everclear and Seven Dust, although I've never heard of Seven Dust.
We're going to throw
I have, but...
Yeah, I get a feeling it says we're going to throw Everclear in there with Everclear.
Yeah.
Ba-da-bum.
Yeah. And talk about enlightening.
I know you've heard
projects.
Seven Dust, and I tell you what, Turn 4... Now, you know what? Let me try to pull it up real quick. They have Angel's Son is their big song. It was about LeJohn's brother that died. He wrote that song about him. And then they've had Praise, and they're a fantastic rock band. And let me tell you what. This guy comes out and puts on a show because some rock bands rely on their music, and Seven Dust music is very easily to hold up to it. I've seen him at West Fair Amphitheater. I've seen him at Sokol Auditorium. LeJohn, I think his name is LeJohn, if I'm remembering correctly. He comes out, just this big buff dude, no shirt, and he comes out and just rocks like a sheer metal band.
He looks like me. He just plays guitar really good.
Well, and then, the buff factor, there's that, and he's got these things called muscles that you and I lack completely.
Yeah, he's got pipes. I got pipe cleaners.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes to wrap the baby up. We're also going to talk with Hudson Hall of the Motorsports Group. Thanks for hanging with us. It's The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
This week's Legend of Tomorrow on The Front Stretch is Kaylee Camden, driver of the 777 Junior Front-Wheel Drive car from Gravity, Iowa. Just 12 years old, Kaylee attends school at Bedford Community School as a 7th grader. This is Kaylee's first year in racing as she follows her father, Uncle Josh, and Grandpa, who have all raced and are her current pit crew. Kaylee hits the track on Saturday nights at Clark County Speedway in Osceola, Iowa. This year, she finished second in the points in only her rookie season. When she's not on the track, she spends most of her time with animals, including horses, rabbits, ducks, cats, chickens, and dogs. Kaylee enjoys being in the band at Bedford Community School, where she plays the flute. She also loves spending time with family in and around Gravity, Iowa. Keep your eye out for Kaylee Camden in the 777 Sport Compact at Clark County Speedway in Osceola. She's this week's Legend of Tomorrow on The Front Stretch.
We have all been there before. Broken car part in your hand and some snot-nosed punk behind the counter has no idea what he is talking about, but he guarantees that this part will fix your car. You pay an arm and a leg for the replacement, get it home, and sure enough, it doesn't fit your car. Now, learn from your mistake and give an experienced salesperson at Kasiski Auto Parts a call today at 402-731-4592. Kasiski Auto Parts will get you back on the road with your arms and legs still attached.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.
Get ready for the victory lap as we make our way into Turn 4 on the Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting, online at joeskarting.com.
And heading into Turn 4, about ready to wrap this baby up. Turn 4, generally where we kind of wrap the show up a little bit, but we got so many interviews that we just had to pack one more into the show today and make it a full load. So on the phone with us now, the marketing director for the Motorsports Group, a nationwide series team, Hudson Hall, joins us. Hudson, thanks so much for taking your time.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Did I get your title right?
Yeah.
I kind of pulled that off the top of my head.
At work, I've always tried to use that title at work, and they always call me the head BSer.
Well, I don't know. My title just kind of fluctuates. Yeah, that sounds good.
We talked to you earlier in the season, but if you'd just do me a favor and kind of reiterate, what is your job position at the Motorsports Group?
Well, I handle all the marketing, sponsorship, all the meetings that go on with sponsors and us, and I do all the driver appearances and all the driver services. And then I also spot on weekends for a couple cars if needed be, and I help get cars through tech and help clean, and I do a little bit of everything, answer phones and do all the social media.
So you mentioned that you kind of spot. You're the one feeling a little bit of the pinch with the recent NASCAR rules.
Yeah, I mean, it was a change. I mean, normally, how we did it prior to Chicago, they kind of, this weekend, the past weekend in Kentucky was the first time they really went up there and really told us, this is the deal. Yeah, I mean, it's been different. I mean, for us being a small team, before I would go up and spot for practices for 2 other cars, and I would kind of have the same radio to the both cars. So now I had to have one radio per car. So if I want to talk to the driver, I had to unplug my radio, plug it into the other radio, cut it on. So it was just more of a hassle than the quick things we used to do. But yeah, I mean, this past weekend in Kentucky, NASCAR came up there and they was checking for digital radios, and they was monitoring our conversations a lot more. I think it's a good thing. I mean, for us, being a small team, but I mean, we understand why they did it. So I mean, we just kind of go with the flow.
Not to put you in maybe an awkward position or any kind of a position to get you in trouble with NASCAR, but have you ever been approached by another team to kind of work a deal, something similar to what went on between Penske and Front Row Motorsports?
No, I haven't nationwide. I mean, I know when I ran late models, that happened a few times. Mm-hmm. Give us a spot on pit road, stuff like that. But at this level, I've never been approached by anybody. And I know our normal spotter for the 40 car hasn't been either.
Policing that pretty good. NASCAR made everyone a little nervous after Chicago.
I want to switch gears here a little bit with you, Hudson. A lot of people know that you are a smaller team in the nationwide circuit there. Let's recap how is the team doing this year in 2013 overall?
Well, they're mid-season. We struggled a little bit with motors. We had some motor issues with blowing up and this and that. So we've gotten that problem fixed. Start of the season, we had some strong top 20 finishes. Reed got back in the car at Charlotte in May, and we struggled a little bit just trying to going from Josh's setups to Reed setups. We took up a couple of weeks to get used to Reed, and then now with the motor stuff getting fixed, and this past weekend in Kentucky we finished 21st, started 30th, and Reed drove a heck of a race. So we're slowly building runs. We've improved our cars a lot, aero and suspension and everything else. So we're getting better. We don't have the time to go down to the pull-down rig or wind tunnel like the other teams do, but we make the best of what we have, and we show pretty good.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on your guys' progress as the nationwide results come across, and it does seem like you guys are, every couple of weeks you'll come into the next tier of 5 positions. You were 25th-ish, and then you started to become 20th-ish, and now you guys are starting to knock off those top 15s.
Yeah, I mean, at Kentucky we had a really good run going. Our second pit stop killed us. We had a bad set of tires, and the car was just undrivable for Reed. So that was a long green flag run that puts a couple laps down, and that hurt us the rest of the night. The car that we would have finished in front of was one lap down, and they finished, I think, like 19th. So, if we would have made it that last lap, we would have been top 20 run again. I mean, we'll keep on doing what we do and keep building. It has been the main thing. We've had, I think this is the first time this year when we've had the same core guys, for the whole season.
Are you looking to have the same core guys for the 2014 season as you do this year?
Yeah, I mean, most of these guys are going to be with us next year, and of course, there's a couple of teams looking at a couple of our guys now. So, we're not going to hold anybody back from going on to bigger teams. But I know that most of our guys have already told us that they'll be around for next year.
You guys ran a pretty sweet paint scheme this weekend at Dover. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, we partnered with the Firestore.com and the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. And so we'll be debuting that paint scheme on Friday in practice at Dover, and TJ Bell will be in the car. TJ Bell has had a very good relationship with Hero Energy Drink, and the Firefighters Foundation and the Warriors Project. So, we're happy to have Firestore.com on the car and Hero Energy, and we hope to have them on for more races this year or even next year.
That is one of the sharpest looking cars I've ever seen in Nationwide.
It's a great looking car.
Yeah, I mean,
that is awesome.
Actually, actually, the guys are here still wrapping it. So we're still in the shop as of right now.
Oh,
so,
you are? And you guys are packing up and headed over shortly, huh?
Yeah, they'll be packing up here in about 45 minutes, and they got to make some final adjustments to the car, the front end set up, and then they're going to load it up, and the haulers will head to Dover, and then we drive out in the morning, 7 o'clock.
Talking with Hudson Hall, the PR director, marketing director for the Motorsports Group, who fields the number 40, 42, 46, and 47 for the nationwide. Sorry, Hudson, we talked a couple of weeks ago on Facebook, just kind of posting back and forth, but did you ever get your Facebook switched over to Pirate Talk?
I tried it, and I got sidetracked by other languages. And it took me about 3 days to figure out a different language. And actually, I tried a Japanese one.
Yeah.
And I got that one pretty smoothly. And then I tried some. It wasn't Arabic. It was something else. And I think it was like, oh man.
There's one of them that's
Arabic, really?
There's one of them that's upside down English. So it's just normal English that everything is turned upside down.
Yeah, I think the one that I had a hard time with was. I think it was like Brazilian or some off the wall language, and actually I had to call a friend of mine to come over to my house and read to me my options, because I was like, what the hell did I do?
It's always a fun prank to pull on people when you switch their language, but it always sucks to have that pulled on you because it's a real pain to switch it back.
It is. Next time I'll just make sure that I have a dictionary in front of me for different languages, so I can kind of at least get it right.
Hey, Hudson, real quick before we let you go here, today, here's something that's interesting that happened to me today. I had several teams contact me for sponsorships for the 2014 season, and I know whether it be Nationwide Cup or the grassroots level down here in dirt, everybody late in the year is looking for next year already for sponsorship dollars. Is there anything that you can offer for advice for anybody looking for sponsorship? I mean, you've been in that role. You've helped secure deals. You've had guys come to you. You've been the one to ask. Is there any quick tip that you can offer those people?
I mean, really, the best thing that I would say would be to make contacts and get as many contacts as possible. I know one thing that we do with Nationwide is that, we don't sell the performance part of our deal. We sell the whole environment of NASCAR. We want people to come out to the track. We take them to fan events. We'll show them the fun just around the whole event. And that's one thing that's been very beneficial for me personally with our deals we have going on. It's just selling the whole environment around the sport. And whether it be late models, legend cars, dirt cars, whatever you do, just sell a driver, sell a team. And just keep on doing the best. You treat everybody like their sponsor, their best friend, and just keep building relationships and just stay true to what you do. I mean, there's so many people out there that I've seen that they'll try to sell a sponsor, and then nothing you know, they're trying to find the next best deal to backdoor somebody else's team, and that can hurt you in the long run. Just stay true to that sponsor and you give them whatever they need. Whether it be business to business appearances, car shows, that's one thing that gets people to talk about you more. That's like a Firestore. I mean, what we did with East Swisher and those big companies, it's looked good on us, and now Firestore wants to come and market with us, and we're just going to keep on selling it, and they're coming to the track this weekend in Dover, and I'm going to take them around everything. I'm going to meet officials and hang out with the driver, and I'm going to show them fan events and just do my normal thing every week. And just, when they, at the end of the day, when they say we had a great time, to me, that's a job well done.
All right, great piece of advice from Hudson Hall, PR director for the Motorsports Group. Race this weekend at Dover. You'll see him this weekend in person if you make your way down to Kansas Speedway as the big two make their way to Kansas for the final time this year in our little Midwest town. Saturday night is going to be the Nationwide Series race, and Sunday is the Cup race. Hudson, we're going to be down there for the show, doing it live Sunday morning, so we look forward to talking with you a little bit on Friday and Saturday.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. Have a great one, and thanks for joining us.
And thank you very much.
Hudson Hall of the Motorsports Group. We always do appreciate Hudson joining us, and we'll try to get a special interview with Hudson and play it next weekend as we're live down in Kansas. Let's wrap this baby up. Let's see. Quaker Steak and Lube, the official watering hole of the Front Stretch, where you can head to today and catch all of the NASCAR Cup action as the Cup boys are going to wave the green flag in about 3-4 hours or so at Dover International Raceway for race number 3 on the Cup schedule. And last year's winner, earlier this year at Dover, we went there in June. Tony Stewart got his first win on the season. Obviously, that's not going to happen again.
You think?
This time last year, your winner was Brad Keselowski. That was his 5th win on the season.
That's not going to happen again.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you never do know. I mean, I think